What's good, Cowboys Nation? What's good? What's good with you guys? Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome. Hope you guys craving some Cowboys content on this good Tuesday evening. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Hope you guys are doing well. Come on in. Come on in. Jameson Taylor, Raymond Salas, Peasy. What's good? Welcome everybody. Come in tonight. Hope you guys doing well. Hope you guys off work by now. Come on in. Let's chill. Let's chill. Hey, what's good? Hey, my dog, my dog. Hey, from the Poppy, good to see you. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, you did, man. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Oh, you do, Jameson? Yeah, I remember you talking about your last one. Yeah, I hope that one is good for you, fam. Glad to see you doing well tonight. I hope you guys doing okay today. Just want to come through, do a real quick, recap. Hopefully, of this past weekend we had a preseason game against the Jags. Although we didn't win, it's just good to see our boys get out there and get physical for once, get out there and hit somebody else other than our own. I'm saying always good to see that. So I hope you guys just ready talking just a little football with me tonight. Just chilling, just chilling. Yeah, it was good, Dope Meister. Yeah, it has. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It was a trip coming back off that trip to LA. That the time change really got me, and I had to go right back to work like that Monday. That Monday coming back. So I just had to get that work week out the way, and just kind of get myself back to my regular schedule. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Good to see everybody. Kelvin Hicks, good to see you. What's up? What's up? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to my show. Welcome to Craven Cowboys. Hope you guys doing okay. As you guys saw in the beginning, that was our boy Agent O, aka the Marvion Overshone. Hopefully we can give him that 0 by the start of the season. Just my as you guys, if you see my last video when I was out there for training camp, that was actually that Monday, that first padded practice, and he was the first guy out in the field, the very first guy, as you guys can see with the pan around with just that in the beginning. Of course, outside the kickers, what I'm saying, the kickers are usually out there first, but as we see, he's the first guy out there, dapping up one of the coaches, just getting ready. We even heard, through Mike McCarthy that he was pumped for these preseason games. These games really meant a lot to him. So, I think just his enthusiasm is really shining through. What's good, Chris Davis? What's good? Hey, I got you. As soon as I get off here, I got you, bro. I got you. I'm hit you with that wrench. Anybody else? Remind me right before we get off here to get wrench anybody up who I haven't gotten so far, and I'll get you. All right, I got you. What's good? Yeah, it's good to see you, sis Aquarius Unbothered Princess. Hey, good to see you. I don't know if you're the same Aquarius sister from Twitter, but if you are, or if you are not, welcome either way. I myself also am an Aquarius, so also good to see another sister in here. Good to see you. Welcome. Let me see what I got first for you guys. Just like I said, just a few slides I want to run through you guys. Of course, this past preseason game was very exciting. Let me get this off of here real quick. Yeah, so this past preseason game was very exciting to watch. It was good to see our young guys get out there. For me, personally, I can only speak for me. Like, it's just been a while where I've actually been excited to watch, a preseason game with our boys. Because, usually, even this year, we're always looking forward to our starters, seeing what our starters are going to look like. But just knowing the depth that we have behind our starters, it's even more exciting to see what, these years are actually, what these following years are going to bring, outside of this year. People are saying, we may have just a 1 to 2 year window, quote unquote, for, that big six. But, just looking at some of these players, that they're developed correctly, we have the right coaches, but they're just, they play and develop correctly. We could see some, even greater improvement for our guys and actually have a bigger window than what people may be implying. Oh, he says I would need one first. Yes. Okay, so it is. Okay. All right. All right. Good to see you, sis. Glad you're here. All right. I got you, Splenda. All right. Yeah. Like I said, remind me before we get off here, and I got you guys. Yeah. Make sure you guys, before we get to everything else, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, share the Twitter, share the IG, share the YouTube, share the whatever, what I'm saying? Let everybody know I'm live. Just let them know, come chill right quick. Yeah, right out the gate though, Master, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Deuce and Tolbert definitely, they got a point to prove. And actually, I know it's only been one game, and actually, I really didn't make any kind of like, solid, I guess I would say choices in this game. I just for me, this game was more like an observation game, just seeing what we have. Really just just to get our eyes on just some football for once. After a long off season of just talking about it, just finally be able to get our eyes on it. For me, this is just like an observation game. I watched this a couple of times. I ain't gonna lie, mostly as a fan, just kind of get it out of my system, just kind of watch it. Kind of watch some of our guys closely. I was mostly watching most of the guys on the offense, honestly. I want to go back and look at the all 22 for the defense, and also how our O line was looking. O line wasn't particularly the greatest, but we definitely have some good upside. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think he's going to show, and he's already as we saw, he's already showing out in the preseason game. I think he just really has his confidence back. It's really good to see that. Yeah, even though yeah, his actual performance was actually really outstanding. Like, and it wasn't even just that one catch. Like, just seeing just his game altogether, just so far, it's really good to see. So let's go ahead and jump in right quick. Like I said, just have a few slides for you guys. Nothing crazy. All right, before we get started, let me know if you guys can see the slide. Let's go through this presentation right quick. Yeah, I agree with you there, Chris Davis. Yeah, I think Kellen was holding back a great deal of our offense. Before we get started, like as we see, I believe this is Tony Pollard's fourth year going in, and just seeing the potential he's had these past couple years, just seeing just a lot of our guys, Tober as we see, even Turpin just being here just for 1 year, and then even just seeing his flip side just from one off season, the work he was able to put in, and even though it does really suck, we saw that fumble in the preseason game, but like I said, it's just one game, one preseason game at that. Let everybody get their jitters out. You know what I'm saying? Plus, me personally, and I'm sure other people just want to see more snaps from Turpin on the offensive side. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what he's capable of, with the returns and things like that, and things happen, fumbles do suck, but things happen. I just really just want to see more from him. Definitely getting wide receiver snaps. We saw that big conversion, on fourth down. So I think I definitely want to see more from him on the wide receiver. Okay, but all right, sis says, all right, she says she can see it. All right, cool. And yeah, he was. He was holding a lot of people back. Now we'll see how he does over there. With the Chargers. Best of luck to him. And but like I said, I'm not even say I hate to say he holds people back because he does have on paper number one offense. That's something he can hang his hat on. I'm not saying it's anything negative, but in those big moments, those are sometimes the moments that matter more than what's on the stat sheet. All right, so like I said, as you guys know, we had this preseason game this past weekend, and like I said, it was great to see a lot of our guys just get out there and get physical, and really just kind of like I said, be able to hit other guys other than our own. You know what I'm saying? It's good to see our young guys finally be able to step up and actually see what they can do. When those bright lights are on. So, but just kind of some news that kind of outshone, just the whole weekend. As we know, Zach, Big Zach is back. Zach Martin got paid. He got a $8 million raise over the next couple of years. And I think that was just his main thing. He didn't really have any guaranteed money after this past contract. So I think that was more important for him. Maybe he just wanted kind of wanted to take some time off. But I think what I really missed about Zach, not any person I kind of tweeted out earlier. I kind of hoped I kind of was able to see him in training camp, but it's even just seeing the pictures now, it's great to see him out there with the team. Even with just these couple acquisitions with Gilmore and Cooks, we see their kind of effect on the team already within their respective rooms, the wide receivers and the cornerbacks. But just to see Zach back, already in practice today. They had practice today, and I just hope that we heard from the coaches saying, Mike McCarthy, saying that the room erupted when they heard that Zach Martin got his deal, and just seeing the love for this team just all over the place, not just in one room, not just on the offense, not just the defense. How we always kind of celebrate the defense a couple years back, and even just last year, just kind of having a weaker offense. We just always kind of held the defense up, on a pedestal. But just seeing both sides and just all sides of the team, front office as well getting on board, just making these moves, and shout out just real quick, shout out to Henny right quick. Earlier he kind of said something that kind of struck me. Henny, the more if you guys are subscribed over there, make sure you guys head over there, show him some love. He kind of said something that kind of struck with me. He just said that, the Cowboys are finally making moves to solidify, our sixth championship. Just kind of putting it out there and just saying like, the front office just seems to be just what we can see so far. Just seems to finally be on board, with the whole team's goal. And what we want to win. What we want to get. We definitely, we all want a sixth championship, and just finally bring this man back. Most of us, kind of knew it was going to happen. And, I guess the other part of us, just kind of hoped it would happen. And I'm glad it finally did happen. Bring him back. This guy is just a solid piece of our O-line. And I believe, shout out to Michael Gelkin. He actually tweeted out that, the holdout might have even been longer if Martin had, kind of, stood tall and wanted to be the top paid, right guard in the league, because, as we see, his contract is actually in the top three behind Lindstrom and I believe Nelson on the Colts. So it's good to see that both sides kind of come to a compromise, and actually heard that him and Jerry actually met face to face, and it's good to just see that these guys kind of come to a just a level of agreement, and just kind of make it a win, a whole win situation really for the whole team, because we know just how important this guy is, and just going off what just what I've seen in camp, and also what we all seen in the clips on Twitter, that Josh Ball is just not the answer right now. And really, the other guys need work too. Like as I mentioned earlier, just really not impressed with the offensive line work, right out the gate. But as we know, most of these guys are young. Like I said, it's even better just for Zach really to kind of come in and bring just his vet experience. Kind of be able to teach these guys up that just teach them things that they might not learn just over time, just being in training camp. Like I said, he can kind of get hands on like Gilmore is with the DBs, or like we see the speed change with the wide receivers with Cooks coming in. So hopefully we can get Martin to just kind of bring in his vet experience and just kind of translate that over to these backups who are eventually going to get on the field. But hopefully no time soon now that he's back. And like as I started out the show with Overshawn, being the first one on the team, we just saw him everywhere in the preseason game. It was great to see him out there. It's just amazing to see his energy, just kind of translated, from practice to, the preseason game. And just, seeing these guys' love for the game just kind of translate, of course we see some guys not necessarily show out, like I said, granted, it's the first game. So, some guys are just going to need more time for the translate on the field. But, just seeing, like I said, his energy kind of translate, just to, not just the defense, but also an offense guy on the field. It did take a while for the offense to kind of get it together, but I think this guy can just bring a big energy to the field just all together. Like, if these other guys see him stepping up, like I believe McCarthy said himself, this may be, one of the best draft classes he's seen since he's been here in a while. So, these other rookies are coming in trying to do their thing. And essentially, I'm not saying Tolbert's a rookie, but, he, a lot of guys can get some of their fire from these other guys putting in productive work. And like I said, we see, Clark had a great year, despite having, having an injury in his neck, and then he's still able to have, a pretty decent year last year. So just seeing these, guys kind of come out and we see a lot of people talking about it. They could potentially be just a new young, our new young linebacker duo. And I'm even still excited still to see what Cox can do out there. He was even, he had a decent game. He even had a decent camp. Me being out there, just seeing, like seeing for myself. He was, doing some moves out there, and also, still getting recognition from the coaches. So I think that's going to be, you know, really important coming up in these next couple of weeks with these preseason games. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris Davis. Yeah, Zach is definitely going to help out them young defensive tackles too. Yeah, like going against, I mean, as we see with Tyron Smith, you know, sometimes we think sometimes these vets can kind of coast, in training camp. But as we see, Parsons is, still giving Tyron Smith some work on that side. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be good to see, who we're going to see across from. Let me see, defensive tackle. So we're definitely going to see Osa, in that middle. We're going to see Mozzie, putting some work in the middle, and we saw him doing his thing in the game, already. Being fresh out the pack. I did see see some plays where he did seem kind of winded, but I'm sure as part of the whole game, these guys got to get conditioned, to being out there on the field longer than just a few plays in a row. And even though we have great rotation, it's good to kind of get these guys stamina up to see just how long they can actually last an NFL game, because those, some of those games may go into overtime. They may last longer. Some guys may need, more time due to someone else, maybe going through a slight strain or anything like that. So it's good to see these guys, kind of get their conditioning up. Yeah, I agree with you, sis. Yeah, Overshown and Deuce definitely had me hyped. Like, and like I said, you guys see I have Tobert up here as well. Like, these guys are, definitely showed out in their first showing. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of Overshown, we have Deuce. He did his thing. You know what I'm saying? We 8 carries or 50 yards. Averaging just a little bit over 6 yards per carry is for me great. I definitely want to see more. Like it's one game, one preseason game at that. But it's just good to see, like I said, his energy as well. His talents already. He, not saying he was coming into negative talk, but we all heard things about his size, but seeing that it's not going, he's not going to let it stop him. So why should we talk about it like it's going to stop him? You know what I mean? So it's good to see him just get some action in there. Put up some decent numbers. Even went in for a touchdown. So it's good to see him. Good to see him do his thing out there. And like I said, we have Tobert appears has 2 receptions, and of course we don't count that other one. They claimed he had offensive, pass interference, which we see the hand. We saw the arm extended, but I don't think it really had that much do with the play of him being able to make the catch. He had to go up. He pretty much had to climb the ladder to make that catch. So that was that's pretty much all him. So. Too bad it was called back, but it was still an amazing catch. But as mentioned here, like we see him getting his confidence back. We're seeing our draft pick, really just kind of develop right in front of our eyes. Now this guy, John Stevens Jr., is definitely just one of my favorite players. I just love talking about. Just seeing what he did in training camp alone, just when I was there, and just seeing, I believe it was that Saturday. Actually, I believe that Saturday I left, or maybe I believe it was just the Saturday that I left, and he just I believe they did a scrimmage. Of course it's just a scrimmage, but he was just kind of showing out, and I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm loving him just right now slightly more than Hendershot. I'm just seeing a little bit more energy from him. I'm seeing just a little bit more tenacity, just him kind of being gritty, just fighting for the ball, being physical. I'm saying, doing decent blocking. I would like to see just a little bit more from him, in that area. But of course, we have 2 more games coming up. So, like I said, all these things just seem like I want to see them improve on. But I just really think this guy can show out. Like, I don't know if they're gonna give him that much love to be tied into. I would like that, but like I said, I'm not gonna jump to that just yet. It's still pretty early, but he could definitely give a run at tight end 3. You know what I'm saying? Because we know Ferg got it. They're gonna give Schoonmaker some run to see what he can do, and it's still pretty early for him. You know what I'm saying? So I still want to see what he can do. So, but I think like as it says here, I think he just made it more interesting for them. Yeah, Dope Meister, you're right. Yeah. He's definitely a hidden gem. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, I believe this defense will break decades old records when they gel. Yeah, like this defense is really going to show out. Like they really gonna. I think it's going to be an amazing. Once they like, of course, once they all get on track, but once they all get, you know, in the right scheme of things, I think we all know the master that Dan Quinn is. So I think once he's able to figure out, like I would like him to change up some things I don't like. I don't know if we mentioned it on our show, but me and Star kind of mentioned it on Twitter where Dan Quinn was still stunning, the tackles in the middle, out of position, which I don't love to see. Not this early, not in preseason. I like, different to see different packages and things like that. But I think it's just a little bit too early. I want to see these guys play their positions and just see if they can handle that, instead of doing stunts this early in the season, especially preseason. And this other guy here is Isaiah Land. Like for me, this guy was just definitely out of left field. Like just the depth we have alone. Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Micah Parsons, of course. Demarcus Lawrence. Just the depth we already have. So hearing Land, late in the fourth quarter, more than 2-3 times, kind of like who is this guy? Like I know he was undrafted, and I believe me and Star kind of mentioned on our show the night before the game where. Of course, Junior Prohoka wasn't going to get any snaps because he was out with the shoulder strain. So, we kind of mentioned that Isaiah Land, I believe his name was Tyrell Johnson, was going to get some snaps. But I definitely didn't expect Land, to show out the way he did. I believe just in the fourth quarter alone, a shout out to Patrick No-C Walker. He tweeted out he got, I think, 2 to 3 holding penalties in the fourth quarter alone. So, just seeing this guy already make a name for himself, as tweeted here by John Owning, he was their best pass rusher with 4 total pressures. Like it's just for this guy to stand out, just in one game alone. I definitely want to see more of him, earlier in the next game. Definitely more in rotation just to see what kind of pressure he can bring, in that first half of the game. Now this is something. Because I got, shout out to Cooper Rush. Like I have nothing against Cooper Rush. He definitely showed up, showed up for us last year when we needed him, and in previous years. We had that game against Minnesota where he showed up and showed out. But it's just been a while since Will Greer has been here. I believe 2 to 3 years. I'm not sure on the exact number, but we did, I believe, get him after he was on Carolina. So, and I was excited when we got him. He's a more of a mobile quarterback. I just want to see more of his skills being, put to use out there on the field. And I was actually happy to see him play a little bit longer in this past preseason game, just to see what he could do with, I don't want to say pressure. It's not, we know it's preseason game, but just to see what he can do with more playing time. Kind of getting in the groove. And, unfortunately, it just took him a while to get into that groove. Like we did see him using his legs. We did, see him using his arm. Even when I was out there in California, we see his arm is legit. We see his legs are legit. It's good to see him, kind of put it to usage a little bit. But it's just seeing him kind of take a while to get into the groove. Just kind of, just a little bit, I don't say disheartening. Like I said, it's just one preseason game, so. No judgments here, but it's just, I just definitely want to see him, kind of put more of his skills to use. Like I said, his ability was shown in his past game. We see him, kind of, when he did, we did see him, move up in the pocket. We did see him, use his arm. He was active for the most part. We did see him, miss a couple of throws, but I believe it was in the fourth quarter he went to McKeon. Ended up being a drop pass. You just hate to see those, easy, I don't want to say easy, but I don't play the game. But just seeing passes that should be made, a 5-yard pass that should be made down the field. I hate to see those drops. So it kind of makes you wonder whether it reflects on Greer or McKeon. So one thing I do like about Greer is that he seems to develop chemistry with not just one receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like we see him have chemistry with Houston, with Simi. We even saw late in the game he had it took a while, but he was able to finally connect with Stevens in the end zone. So I think he's, a good overall quarterback. I think he can, still, have some skills he can bring to use for the team. And like I said, like his skill set, for what it presents, we've seen him in the past few years, but unfortunately, we only see him in preseason capacity. I believe it was last season he had the groin injury that kind of caught him late. I think McCarthy said he was even in the lead for the quarterback role, but unfortunately the injury kind of hindered him. So I would just love to see him kind of get more of a chance, see just how long he'll play this upcoming, preseason game, this Saturday against the Seahawks. And hopefully he'll be able to settle into his groove just a little bit earlier. As we saw in the game, he threw 2 picks, I don't know if it's luckily, but, I believe the defense had committed a penalty, so it was called back. But, from our eyes, I'm saying, it was 2 picks. So, and one thing I noticed about him, he just seemed to target the same receiver multiple times in a row. Like, I believe a couple plays in a row, he would target Brooks, and even though it wasn't there, he was still trying to force it, into those small pockets. He was even being doubled, even sometimes triple covered. He would force it to Brooks. At one point, he was forcing it to Stevens before they did finally connect to the end zone. In the fourth quarter, when they did switch going to the other end zone before scoring a touchdown with Vaughn, he was going to him multiple times. And the defense was able to kind of pick up on it quick. So I would just love to see him go to different targets and maybe see if he can kind of develop a rhythm, but with different targets. Samuel says, do you think we keep all 3 quarterbacks? I don't know. I believe they would. I think they opened up that extra spot for the quarterbacks. Well, on game day. I don't know if it applies throughout the whole season, but hopefully they'll be able to keep all 3. Hopefully we'll be able to see this competition kind of whittled down, like, for sure. I don't know if I'm sure Cooper has a lot of leverage, with being able to win last season. And not just last season, but previous season before that. He's shown that he's capable of being quarterback too. I just think it's more for Greer to gain, but definitely for him to lose as well. And of course, the final thing I want to talk about, of course, is the running back position. Of course, we saw Vaughn, and in my opinion, I saw Rico do some good things. Like, we know he had that fumble, and that definitely stings, especially at the, I believe it was the 4-yard line, or to me, like the 1-yard line. I think they called it back to the 4, and things like that you hate to see. And some people say he ran into Turpin. Turpin, was trying to block up field, and he ran into him, or his helmet, or or the ball was stripped out. Whatever, however it happened, the fumble still did happen, and you hate to see that. But it's like, even for me, previous to that, he got around to the edge. He was able to make that burst to be able to get it. I believe it was a 10 to 15 yard gain, just off yak alone. So just seeing him be able to make those runs still. We know we had Rico for a while, but I've always just wanted to see what he can do. But kind of like along the same lines as Greer, it was he's always been kind of hindered by injury. So hopefully we'll be able to see Rico kind of show out in the regular season this year, kind of get some snaps. Hopefully, I'm kind of rooting to be, well, I'm not going to say rooting for him, but I think he could make a stand for running back 2 or 3, just depending on what Bond does. But for me personally, I'm looking at what they're going to do for Turpin. Like, I want to see them use Turpin more at wide receiver, and then maybe kind of get Bond, kind of integrated into the game through kick or punt returns, just to kind of get, his feet kind of under him. We do see him kind of, standing out already, but just to kind of get him, kind of ramped up, game ready. I want to see him kind of do some kick and punt returns, and those could be big for us as well. Because I don't really want to see. As we see with Turpin with that fumble, I don't necessarily want to see Turpin out there for kick and punt returns. But we did see Turpin, like as I mentioned earlier, make that big, I believe it was a 4th and 13 conversion, for a first down. So and I like those better than kick and punt returns. So I just want to see him kind of get more in the groove of, offensive snaps, vice kick and punt returns. And then for me, that'll have more of an effect on what they're going to use Vaughn for. And then, for me, and we still have Hunter Licky, I believe. I'm sorry, excuse me for the pronunciation, but we still have him that we can still utilize. So I just want to see, a couple more of these preseason games, for the running back position. I believe we're fine. I believe we're fine at running back. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's still pretty early. Yeah, Duke's good. I mean, I think he can number two. I mean, he just seemed to be like he does feel like he can handle that role so far. But I definitely will still want to see more. I want to see what he can do and see how he can. I think I seen tweets out today that he actually spent more time getting more reps with the one. So I think we may see him more in the next preseason game. I'm hoping they put him out there a little bit earlier, just to see, if he can handle. I don't know if they're gonna put him, out there starting. I want to want to see if I want to see Rico start the game off and then seeing how Deuce kind of follows up behind them, just to see how he can handle that running back two role. He says, what about trying Dowdle at punt returns? We did see Dowdle do, some punt returns in the game. I think he can handle it, but I would rather see Rico at the running back position just because it's already kind of not questionable, but I think we're fine at running back. But I think we need more of his physicality at the running back position, because he's shining more than Malik Davis. I would rather even. I'm not gonna say I want Malik Davis at punt or kick returns, but I think we have Turpin or Vaughn for punt or kick returns. So I don't think we need to put Rico back there. And just I guess the last thing I'm gonna touch on, like I said, just a tight end room, very interesting. I think we've definitely seen, Jake Ferguson, establish himself as a starting tight end. It's good to see him, make some of the catches he made. I didn't necessarily have any questions about Jake Ferguson, but definitely seeing him be physical and kind of just, put a stake in, what he thinks is his and, what I believe should be his, definitely, because not saying, and I still want to see more from Hendershot. I don't want to say that Stevens has taken his job just yet, but Hendershot, in my opinion, definitely needs to show more because, he's not necessarily, for me, doing everything. He definitely, he had just quite a few drops in camp for me, and I definitely just want to see him kind of pick up his game in a little bit. I don't know if I saw him in preseason. I saw him, making some blocks out there, and I'm not sure if he had any targets. But definitely just want to see more from him. I don't think McKeon is going to give. Shout out to him. For some. For playing the fullback position when he does get in there. But I think Stevens, if anything, would have that tight end 4 position kind of sealed up. Yeah, shout out the East Side. Go Texans. Shout out to y'all for winning the preseason game. Congrats. Hope you guys. I'm sorry, I can't even get through East Side. I can't do it. And shout out to y'all, but whatever. We don't care about no Texans around here. Let me see. Sis says, I think they use both punt return, Deuce, and Turp. Yeah, I can see that. I want to see them more in like I said before in the preseason game. I want to see just how Deuce, cause I think that can kind of get get his, if you will kind of get his feet wet, kind of get him, kind of game ready, get, used to the speed of the game, used to people, get used to guys, kind of get used to guys running at you, as far as NFL speed. I think that'll kind of get him, a little bit more ramped up for the game. Like Turp, he's used to it. He's used to it. It wouldn't really be, I don't want to say a challenge for him, but like I said, I want to see him more at the wide receiver role. I mean, we've seen him. You see that he's coming from the USFL as an MVP. You know what I'm saying, as a wide receiver. So I just want to see if he can make that same translation over. Over to the NFL side. If he can make big plays like he did, towards the end of the game. On big conversions like that, or if he can, just make little, small plays out to the flats. You know what I'm saying. Well, corrals just to convert them first downs. You know what I'm saying? They could really establish. And that's another thing I noticed. As far as them changing up the scheme and them presenting more in the West Coast offense. I did see a lot of 3-step drops. Like I saw the ball coming out of there fast. I saw Cooper, 1-2 boom, 1-2 boom, just getting the ball out of there, getting the ball to Vaughn. I'm sorry, not Vaughn. I'm sorry, getting the ball to Dennis Houston, getting the ball to Simi late in the game. Will Greer, taking those quick steps and just getting the ball out. That's one thing I do like seeing. I also do like seeing the I guess I'll call it the up tempo between plays. Once they get the play off, they're right back up there to the line, or they're right back to the huddle. There's hardly, it kind of keeps them on their toes, but also keeps the defense on their toes as well. You know what I'm saying? So I just like that, kind of change the pace of the game. So it kind of, kind of keeps it more interesting. And like I said, it kind of keeps the defense on their toes as well. Eastside Eastside says I'm ready to give him a gold jacket. Where did I say that I was ready to give Deuce a gold jacket? I even said throughout this whole broadcast that I was just this wasn't even a game I was judging anything off of. I was just saying this was just an observation game for me. So, and I'm not ready to give Deuce anything. I'm not even ready to give him the running back two position. If you were here 5 minutes ago, I just mentioned that I was actually ready to give Rico the running back two position just because of his physicality. But you came in late, so it's understandable. Anyway, my fave is in the building. What's good? What's good, babe? How you doing? Yeah, let him know, Swain. Like he he's he swear he a Houston fan, but the whole time he a Cowboy fan. So we didn't even pay attention to you. Yeah, you right. Yeah, yeah. Let him know. Yeah, let Joey know. Yeah, we smelled the rat. Yep. Let him know, Swain. I don't even know why he in here, but he in here because he want to know what a real football team look like. It's cool. Anyway, like I was talking about, our like with this West Coast offense, it just makes me very excited to see what these guys can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we still need help. Like I said, it's great to have Zach Martin back. Bringing, kind of solidifying the old line. We actually saw, hopefully, God willing, what our starting, offensive line going to look like. Week one, we have Tyron Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Biadasz, Tyler Smith. You know what I'm saying? And Terrence Steele, you know what I'm saying? So just that's the line that we always wanted to see. And that would be great to see that, while being out in California. But even it's even just good seeing in the picture, just seeing, what our offensive line is, will potentially look like week one against the Giants. And hopefully, deep into the season, because this line is strong. And even just adding on the potential of getting the ball out fast to our playmakers like CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, you know what I'm saying? Just, our tight ends, potentially John Stevens, Jake Ferguson, so we just have Tony Pollard. And this is not even all the guys on our team who are going to be starting, you know what I'm saying? So just having this plethora of weapons and just seeing this up tempo, being able to get the ball out and just, our playmakers just being able to do more. Like Mike McCarthy said, I believe he mentioned last year. I know we had some, people kind of get on him with, having issues with time management and things like that. But as I mentioned with the up tempo, McCarthy wants to call more plays and with more time, and you see them calling, what seems like more plays, so we can be more efficient on the field. And I think that's we already kind of see it, in the game already, kind of translating across to to real game time, real game time reps. So we're going to see just how well these guys can adapt, down the line. Yes, Wayne, we talked about it earlier. Look, you already know how that old line is looking at us. We see everybody praising the football gods about Zach Martin coming back. So, our starters, of course, are great, are wonderful, but the depth right now for me, like I said, and I understand most of our guys are actually pretty young, either on their first or second year coming in. Like a lot of these guys are young, but for me personally, I want to see guys like Matt Walesko. I want to see Matt Barniak, Josh Ball. I want to see these guys step up tremendously. We need these guys because they know the next guy's up. Hopefully Ball isn't the next guy up, but essentially as it stands right now, these guys are the next ones up. But, we have Bostic. He kind of shows some things that I'm at to, go back and look, personally at his film. But, other guys that kind of gave me, we see Awesome Richards, I'm kind of still kind of on the fence about Awesome right now because for me personally, there was some play I seen where he just kind of looked lost, or maybe some defenders kind of got by him that maybe he just didn't know he's supposed to be blocking, or maybe he didn't, because there were times where some linebackers were getting to the backfield. So I want to, and not just Awesome, but just, a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these guys are young. TJ Bass, what I'm saying? There's a lot of these guys are, young coming in. They need to, that's why it's so great to me having Zach Martin in the building, because he can, kind of teach these guys up. He can take these guys to the side and say, hey, like we saw the other day with Micah taking Molly to the side. These are how you do your hand. This is how you, plant your feet in the ground. Like he can teach these guys things that, that they may not learn, before the season starts. He can kind of give him little tricks here and there that that can help him along the way. Yeah, I agree with you, Swain. Yeah, Bass had a good game. Like I said, a lot of these guys have great potential. Just like Ball, like man, I don't know. Like to me he just doesn't look conditioned. Like he just looks like he's like out of breath out there. Hands on his hips. You know what I mean? Just not. I don't know if he's just. I don't know if he's ready or just. I don't know. Like something about him just seems a little bit off. Like I just really need him to just look more solid out there on the line. Yeah, like it's yeah, like I said, the depth is. I don't I don't know if it's encouraging, but like I said, it's just the first game, so these guys have plenty of time to get the actual feel of the game and to know maybe be able to personalize what they need to get better at now that they've actually had the time to to be actual in real time game reps and to know what they need to focus on. Like I mean, like we saw with Parsons when he first came in, he kind of said he was kind of thinking a lot, and I'm sure that's what a lot of these young guys are doing. They're thinking where they got to put their hands, where they got to put their feet, and by the time they're thinking of what they got to do, they're already back in Cooper Rush's lap. You know what I'm saying? So now they got the feel of the game, they can actually go back into practice. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of maybe touch on some of those small things and maybe be able to improve their game altogether. Yeah, Joe, you right. Yeah, you crazy. Yeah, that old line definitely, yeah, definitely had us stressed out. All weekend, not even just Saturday, but all weekend up until Zach Martin, got that contract. That was something that we were definitely like, ooh, like that, like like that Jay-Z meme, like step out the room, like man, like it was definitely something we had to raise our eyebrows to. So it's good they made a move. Hopefully down the line they'll pay Terrence Steele. We know he got his tender offer, but hopefully they'll somewhat somewhere down the line pay him as well. We know Tyler Biotish is on a contract year as well. I don't know if how much a priority he'll be among the list of guys we already have to pay, but hey, nothing wrong with a solid center. You know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with that at all. The sister, she says, Josh Ball kind of reminds me of Doug Free. I don't know. I like Free a little bit more. At least Free, contributed. You know what I mean? Josh Ball is just, I don't know. Like I said, I gotta go. I want to go back and watch him and see maybe the things that he does good. But there's just a lot of times where he's back in the quarterback's pocket. And the same thing, I'm sorry, back in the quarterback's lap. And the same thing with Valesco. But Valesco is just a little bit more solid. Like I want to see Valesco just kind of plant his feet just a little bit more, because there's a lot of times where he just seems to get knocked back on his heels. I have faith in Valesco. I believe he can be a solid right tackle, but or a swing tackle. Just decide depending on how they decide to use him. But yeah, I definitely want to see him, put his size to use, because I don't want him to be out there, big and tall for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I think, once he's able to, solidify what he needs to do, I think he can be a force on that line. And also, just the last thing I want to touch on before we get out of here is the kind of what I speak on. I want to know you guys' thought. What do you guys think that we're going to do about Curse after this year? Like I know it's late in the year, but I kind of had as you guys saw in the beginning, I had Over showing up on the screen, and I know they don't necessarily play the same position. And I don't, me personally, I love Curse. Like Curse is definitely one of the leaders on this defense, and just like just from what I've seen when I was out there, and just in general, he has a great relationship with Hooker. They came in, initially, at the same time for visits when they first visited the Cowboys. So it's great to see that they maintain that relationship. And I would really hate to, really to see, Curse get out of here. And I think what they may be doing is just seeing how, because just me, I had mostly a view of the safeties while I was out there, just being right there in that front section. So I got to see, Tyler Coyle, Wanye Thomas. I got to see a lot of these guys, kind of stand out. They necessarily didn't flash in the preseason game, but these guys are having decent camps. So I'm not saying anyone's here ready and now to take Curse's place, but I'm just wondering, because they just they re-signed Dono, they re-signed, as we've seen, they re-signed Hooker. So I'm just wondering if they're, kind of doing like a prove it type year for Curse because we could, you know, and I know like and kind of like the same thing with the outage. I know Curse isn't priority right now, but if we could sign him on a cheap, type team friendly deal, we see LVE come back, for cheap, I believe for 3 million. We signed him, but I believe Curse's contract right now was for 5 million. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if we could get him to come back on a team friendly deal, another 1 year deal, or have him stay for a couple of years with Hooker. I don't know about 2 years, maybe one more year. Just kind of keep coaching these young guys up. Kind of solidify that safety room because these safeties are coming up already. It's good to see that they're making flashes, but of course we just got to see these guys can make these same kind of flashes in the regular season. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, Joe. If he stays healthy and plays great again, I would think, I would say maybe another 1 year deal, maybe two. I don't know, depending on the development of our younger guys. But yeah, I would love to see Curse back here. I'm not sure if he would go. I don't know if another team would pick him up, but I mean, he still has potential. His game is still very much on point. Yeah. Yeah, he did have a point to prove. I'm not sure. He did say he sat down with Jerry Jones, so I'm not sure. Of course, the conversation they had, but I'm wondering like if how much they had to, how much each side had to compromise, to come to. Because if they say $8 million, we don't know the exact number, but if you're doing $8 million over the next couple of years, just guessing maybe his contract is around, of course they said north of $18 million per year, so. We know he's not getting that top contract, but they had to come to some kind of compromise. So it was good to see that they could come to kind of a good common ground, to be able to help both each other out. Oh, what's good, Philly? Philly, good to see you joining me. So what's up? What's up, man? Good to see you, man. It's like, is that what they're saying? Is that why they're saying we signed Zach Martin? I don't know. Now, personally, I ain't gonna lie to you, Philly. I think it's because they saw tape, or not even to point people out, just the offensive line in general, and they know we need to solidify it. So I think that's why they signed Martin. And I mean, I think they had it, I think they had it in the chamber the whole time anyway. But I just think after seeing our first game, I think they knew the urgency that we had to get this done and get Zach Martin in here and get him getting chemistry with our line. And I mean, granted, there's only 2 games left in about a month until the first game. So, chemistry, even though, he may only need a week or two to get back into his game form, chemistry is still very much important. So I don't know if Carter had much, to do with that. Now, hey, shout out to Carter. Like he did get on that quarterback's ass. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like he did run him down. Like, but like I'm saying, the whole stream is one preseason game. We got our right guard back. So it's good to see that. Right. Let them know, Fave. Look. Yeah, that O line was definitely scary work. Scary work. So yeah, we had to fix that ASAP for ourselves. Like it's not even about that. We had to do that for ourselves. Like we had to keep it real. We had to keep it real for a second. Hey, I don't know if I see you. I don't know if I showed you right at all, JBB boy. Good to see you. Glad you joined us. Yeah, I don't know if they don't get CD extended before week 1. That they could. I know they like to sign, kind of get these deals done, within the training camp time. So we may see another player sign. I think it may be maybe even, maybe Steele or maybe someone. I don't know. It could be CD because I don't think CD has any, kind of intentions on, holding out, quote unquote. So I don't know if CD would be, pressing to get done before the season starts. But if they do, that's definitely encouraging as well. I'm saying? I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah. Eastside changed his picture. He finally changed his picture to, I don't know, whoever that is down in Texas land. Faye says Philly better not lose not one game this season. I swear I have heard how great them rookies are against y'all ones. Hey, how did you hear about that? Because I guess up until now they've had close practices. So I don't even know how they doing over there. Mhm. Swain says, I'm sorry, Philly says Swain probably 4 to 5 L's. I don't know. I haven't really taken a full look at y'all schedule just yet. But I know you guys, of course, play, teams similar to ours. But I don't know. That seemed like a lot of L's for y'all team. For a Super Bowl, going, well, attending team. You know, 4 to 5 L's is a lot. I don't know if I see that many on our schedule, but I mean it's still early. Like I do see, actually I could see maybe 3 to 4, and I only say four if we actually do get caught sleeping. Maybe I think I mentioned this in one of my earlier shows. Either caught sleeping on arrival, or maybe get caught sleeping. Maybe like somebody on maybe like the Lions, or maybe even because I know we late down in the stretch we do have Miami, we do have Buffalo, kind of back to back. So those games, of course, around that time of the season where we have the holidays, so we kind of have like a weird schedule. So maybe one of those games might catch us, kind of off guard. But I really don't see no more than 3 to 4. But that's 4 to 5, seems like a lot for a team that went to the Super Bowl last year. Eastside says Will Anderson is the next Michael Parsons. Okay, yeah. Philly says I'm a logical fan. Hey, that's all we appreciate. That's what we appreciate. We appreciate all logical fans, no matter who you a fan of. We just like to talk, logical facts, logic based, even just banter, even we just going off opinions. Like we just like to, I agree with that. It's always good to have logic, because if we just talking about BS, it's not going to be really much point of talking. All right, y'all. Well, that was pretty much all I have for you guys tonight. I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we head out of here? You guys have any questions? Or I believe tomorrow I'm gonna have my show with Star tomorrow evening, same time every Wednesday, 8 o'clock, or I believe it's 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central Time. Now I be having to say that because I'm on the East Coast. Stars in Texas, so I be having to say that out loud, for me, because I be having to get that time right. But yeah, we definitely gonna post the time of our show tomorrow. Just give you guys a heads up. Just kind of, of course, you just kind of sum up, for the last time, this past weekend of our preseason. Maybe just some news from practice, because we got practices today and tomorrow. The last couple of days in Oxnard before they go back to Texas. In Frisco, and then of course we have that the preseason game coming up on Saturday against the Seahawks. Now I actually did see before I hopped on here that they did release the unofficial depth chart for the Seahawks game, but just to give you guys a heads up, nothing's changed, it's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same order, for all our players out there. So these guys are pretty much going to see, I don't know if they're going to see the same reps. So, we essentially see the same guys out there. Still going out there trying to earn their spot. I did see earlier that Cal Yeoman, shout out to him, tweeting out his training camp practice notes. He did say that Deuce Vaughn did get a few extra reps with the one. So that's what I'm hoping that he gets out there early against the Seahawks. And I don't know if they're playing starters, but I'm just hoping that he gets out there early. Maybe late first quarter, early second quarter, maybe getting just a little bit, a little bit more reps, just to see if he can kind of handle the load, to see how he does, possibly behind Rico. I think, in my opinion, Malik just has a little bit more to prove right now. I know he has, last year maybe under his belt as maybe some leverage he can use, but for me, he's not necessarily flashing right now. I just want to, not in camp, and he didn't necessarily flash in the preseason game. So I just want to see if he can bring just a little bit more. Jamie said, I'll do my best to be here tomorrow. I want to hear more information on Bohanna. If you have any of that, that'll be great. All right, yeah, I'll take that down. I'll be sure to do that. Yeah, because Bohanna, he was doing this thing not last night. I'm sorry, this past weekend. I did see him kind of miss a couple of tackles, but nothing, nothing major that will make me, kind of have drastic thoughts about him being low in the depth chart. But I think just his size alone, Bohanna can definitely just be a wrecker in that middle. Of course, along with Mozzie, of course, along with Osa, like that's just going to be a Hank. Like y'all, that like I didn't even really touch on the defense. Hope we actually might go into that a little bit more tomorrow on tomorrow's show, just because we talked a little bit more on offense tonight. Dwayne Brown, what's up? What's up? Good to see you. Good to see you join us. How you doing? How you doing? Yeah, I agree with you, Kelvin. Yeah, he would have been fine if he can learn how to cut. Yeah, and actually, Malik has actually been okay with ball security. I think that was Rico we saw with that fumble. But I mean, just for me personally, Malik just needs to show just a little bit more flash. Like, cause I had confidence in him coming in. I don't say more confidence, but even like I mentioned before, he has a kind of that year under his belt. You know, having game time snaps last year. Just he was getting big runs in that Green Bay game. So I just want to see. It's kind of discouraging to see him kind of miss a couple pass pro opportunities out there on Saturday. But hopefully he can kind of get it together, because that's as we saw week one. Pretty much the first game last year. That's how Dak got the injury with the thumb. So we need our quarterback protected at all costs. So I think that's just I think he just has just some things to work on, but he's definitely still very much in the running, because nothing about this run game is solidified as of yet. Yeah, I appreciate it though, Meister. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. If y'all ain't got nothing else, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and slide up out of here. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, before we get out of here, Swain, I agree with you. Yeah, like, and I believe that for a good while. I think I heard them mention that on 105.3 The Fan, that and all all shout out to Dak. Like, we love Dak. That's our quarterback right there. But he doesn't truly have any like real like pressure behind him to make him straighten up and fly around. He's already doing well. We want to see him, because we know he wants it. Like, there's no doubt about about Dak's determination, or being able taking the number one job, and taking that run. There's no doubt about his ability. It's just it's always great to have that pressure behind you. That's why we see with these young guys coming in, putting pressure on. I mean, we even heard through some interviews Michael Gallup talking about he knows his wide receivers that are on his tail. If he can't fully do what he's supposed to do. So it's always good to have that pressure on you, that when you have a job. What I'm saying? There can always be somebody coming from your job. You see, JB says, my thing with Malik is that he was behind the bench O-line going against the opponent's starter defense. I won't crucify him just yet. Yeah. Like I said, I ain't gonna crucify him just yet, because I think maybe he just needs a little bit more reps. Like, maybe he just needs to get some of the jitters out. Like with Turpin, we saw kind of a bad play, a big play, but sometimes they just need to get that kind of get that nervousness out their system. What's good, Hamid? I believe you said you were the Eagles fan from before. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I agree with you, JB. Yep, Dak is the best quarterback. Yep. Someone said we gonna walk it like we talking. Yeah, that 6-1 is ours. It's ours this year, Fave. And I truly believe this year is definitely just different. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the chemistry these guys are building, the love that the whole team has for each other. Like, they root for each other. They know, we saw them celebrate bringing back Zach Martin. They know who the staples on the team are, and they're all behind each other, 100%. So it's just good, to see that chemistry building. Hey, we appreciate that, Philly. Hey, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. We'll check with you next time. I guess I go ahead and do the same, y'all. Like I said, appreciate y'all time. Thank you guys for coming through. I know it's about midweek. I just wanted to, I know it's been a while since I've been on here, but I wanted to, check back in with you guys, just give, my little feedback, on this past game, and hopefully be able to check you guys tomorrow when you guys come back for me and Star show. Like I said, Star Chasers, girls talk ball. Be tomorrow evening between 7:30, 8 o'clock, Eastern time. You know what I'm saying? So, make sure you guys check back. Hope you guys have a great evening. Hope you guys take care. I'll check with you guys later.